NERDSoul.
Woo! Ha ha! Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right. Dope folks, we are here representing. We always have some artists come on, creators, writers, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? To introduce y'all to some people that are super cool. And before we get started, we have NERDSoul. Like, you ready? Oh, some hi, y'all. Anyway, in this box right here, we have an awesome gentleman. If you could introduce yourself and tell the people what you do.
Yo. I'm Anwar HighSign. I am a MC, producer, artist, all those groovy things. And sorry for the noise. I got people around me outside, so hopefully y'all can hear me all right.
Yeah, where you good. So, you've been on, people have kind of seen you, if they're on this channel, to a certain degree, on Beats Vibes Life, because I know you through Architron. And so you've been on the show for a while, we've been talking and vibing, but we haven't had a real opportune time to get into you musically. So you rhyme, you produce,
Sure.
and you write all your rhymes. Hopefully someone else didn't write your rhymes. But
No, they didn't. I want to write somebody else's rhymes. Yeah. So, and anybody out there, you need
some assistance.
Rhymes written. The vault is. Give me you hit me up for the assistance, and nobody will know. It'll be between us.
He said it'll be between us. So he ain't telling nobody. Like, well, you know what?
Artist to artist. Yeah. Yeah. Artist to artist confidentiality.
Yeah, ain't telling no stories. All right, so with that said, when it comes to writing, how did you start as a writer? Did you start specifically writing music or writing poetry, or did you start writing, like, were you writing just like stories in general? How did your journey as a writer begin?
I was writing raps first, like dabbling into in other spaces like poetry and stories came later. That's stuff that I'm doing more. Well, at least stories and stuff I'm doing more now. Poetry I never did a whole lot of, but I started when I was maybe 8, 10, like somewhere in there. I started writing rap.
All right, so
and here we are.
We've talked about a lot of albums that you've enjoyed during different shows that we've been on, whether it's like Nas or like De La or something like that. When you first started writing them raps, was it the same dudes or was it like different people? Like, you don't have to lie. If like your first dude was like, yo, Craig Mack, you know what I'm saying?
No, it was the first people who inspired me to write raps, the first person was probably MC Light.
Shouts to MC
People
Light.
don't know I'm a big MC Light fan.
Yo, she dope.
Love MC Light.
Also,
man.
Don't sleep on MC Light,
Love
the
MC
actress
Light.
as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep. Like, she be doing her thing.
Facts. She is definitely multi-talented.
Yeah,
Definitely multi-talented, man, and worthy of more praise than she's gotten. Word. That's a different conversation. And like a little bit of LL. It's like those were some of my first couple records that I ever had as a kid. So, one day you kind of looking and you're like, man, this is cool what they're doing. I feel like I could do it. Let me give it a shot.
Nice.
And I did. And I enjoyed it, man. I kept going.
All right, so
probably MC Light. She's the big one. That's like
cool. Conversely, on the production side, there's tons of people that have their kind of like their go-tos. Are you a kind of like computer guy? Are you a SP guy? Are you a MPC guy? Like when it comes to production, it comes to putting your stuff together sonically, like where are you at?
At this point in time, I'm a hybrid guy, but I started as a MPC guy. I still have my MPC. I still use it as a part of my repertoire. But yeah, like I started on hardware. Started out with the drum machine. I had this drum machine that I had access to first. Sounded like a pack of wild dogs just back.
Yeah, but, I know. He was screaming in the background.
I had
so
no, it was actual dogs.
Oh,
it was actually people walking by with a bunch of dogs.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I had a little drum machine that I got a hold of, and then I had we had this little sampler, like not a SP404 or anything like that. We had a Zoom joint, like a sample track, like an orange and black joint. Okay. And then the MP came later on. So but now it's all mixed up now. I got the little bit of MP, a little bit of Logic, a little bit of Ableton, put it together.
All right, cool. I see you. All right, so going into the music that you make, you've recently dropped a joint that we've been talking about on Beast Vibes Life pretty consistently, which is FLEECE.
Pretty consistent, for sure.
Yeah, and I got a chance to check it out. But before we get into FLEECE, describe FLEECE for someone. Because I have my interpretation, but I want to see how you come with it.
Right. FLEECE was something that FLEECE is really sort of I don't know, like palette cleanser is maybe not the exact space I'm trying to think of, but I wanted to do something. I've been really caught on these like small EPs, like these sort of capsule EPs, like 3 or 4 songs that have been happening. That's sort of been happening a lot lately. And I just like that idea a lot. Like it's just like, okay, well, I've made a couple songs in this space and time, and here they are, and enjoy those and put it on your phone, keep it, and I'll see y'all on the next one. It might be another 3-4 pack, it might be a 2-pack, it might be a full record, but for now, it's summertime. You know what? Keep the party going. Here you go. Here's some new music. See y'all in a couple months with something else.
That's what's up.
That's kind of like what it is to me. It's just like, and it was just a good opportunity to, because I hadn't put anything out in a little hot minute, and it was just like a good opportunity to get some music off my chest and to sort of introduce the name change.
Yeah, true. Good point. With that said, I'll make a comment on that in a second, but for me, this reminded me of kind of the classic cassette singles from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You got like 2 tracks, like 2-3 tracks on one side, all the instrumentals on the other side.
Yep.
The end. And I was like, yo, I like not only kind of the nostalgic feel of it for me, but also there's a swing to it and kind of like a very East Coastian vibe. But a swing to it that I really enjoy, like this street type of swing to it that I enjoy on a couple of the joints that you have on both sides. I'm trying to think when it comes to how you plan which songs come together. Is it something that just happens, or is it very intentional? Like these 3 songs were going to be FLEECE, or is it kind of closer to like these songs were kind of made in a similar time period, so they're just here?
for the most part, it's intentional,
All right.
and then there's room for there's wiggle room for any changes that might need to be made, or unforeseen things, or so like I will have music that I'm making together, like beats or songs that I'm putting together for a specific thing, and then sometimes something is not dope, or maybe I want to save it for something else, or it's not coming together. So okay, cool. Well, I have this. I could put this on here. Actually, this makes sense. Actually, this might make better sense than that, and I tailor it a bit more. But usually, it's like the full. Like, it's an intentional. Like this, and this. I want to put these together.
Cool. And I feel you on sometimes, like, it's like, I thought I liked that, but I don't, because I remember recently I did 2 joints with Arcatron, and one of them, like, you know how you like sit something and come back to it, try to be fresh with your ears, and there was one of them, and I was like, nah. we both looked at each other like, nah. We're gonna go in and slide this to the side. We're going to pretend this would never happen. It seemed
actually
like a great
there's
idea.
a song like that. There's a song like that from the FLEECE sessions. Like I kind of want to do a deluxe version of FLEECE, deluxe, and like put out. I want to finish up. Well, there's a song that I left off of it that wasn't coming together the way I wanted, but I've since figured that song out, and I want to put it out. And there's another one. If you get the Bandcamp version of FLEECE, it has the instrumentals and it has a bonus beat all the way at the end.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a vocal version of that, but at the time, I just kind of wanted to get FLEECE out. I kind of needed this to go out the door, so I just like, all right, I'll put the bonus beat on here. But I really want to do a vocal version of it. I started writing it off. I might do an expanded version with like 2 or 3 more songs on it.
All right, no doubt. So back to you talking about, introducing the name change. Do you, or can you, explain the reason for the name change and what you went from? Was it a situation where you're becoming someone different, with, maybe a certain point in your life, or is it just a situation where you're like, yo, that's not me no more?
Yeah, all that. Like I've been chipping away in the music space for a long time. And when you do music professionally, you have a lot of ups and downs that you don't anticipate. You have a lot of hard lessons that you have to eat, a lot of punches you have to eat.
Yeah.
Straight to the face. And it got to a point where I was going by, some people watching may know, and a lot of others probably don't know, but I was going by Haslo, HASLO. And all available is on all the streaming platforms. You can look it up, still listen to it. It's not anything that we're ashamed of, or like want to erase from history.
Word.
My internal compass wasn't the name wasn't matching my internal compass. It just started to be bittersweet, like I wanted some sort of a fresh start. I wanted freedom to expand in the directions that I wanted to move in. And that name, for me, just personally, internally, mentally, spiritually, represented things that I wasn't really lined up with anymore. And I felt like it was just a time to really consider leaving it behind and striking out on a new path. Like, okay, we lived here long enough. It might be time to get up and travel and move and see where I land. So that's what I did, man.
I
And so
feel
far, so good.
I feel you. I
The
feel
name
you.
change feels good, man.
All right, cool. And I kind
And
of
people seem to like the name change too. Like I've gotten a lot of compliments on the name change.
word up, and that's
They like the
that's
direction.
that's always good to kind of, not saying that you need it, but it's always good to make a decision and people kind of support, the decision. You know what I'm saying? That's always cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
man. Can't be stagnated. It's easy to get stagnant and rap. Like it's something that you
True.
really. It seems like it seems a lot more difficult to fall off than it actually is. So that's part of
Yeah.
that.
I I'll give you that.
That's part of that. Like yeah, like let me stay sharp. Like, let me stay glorious. And part of that is just like, hey man, maybe I need to reinvent myself. Maybe I need to, embrace the changes that are happening internally, externally.
Mm. Okay. Now, with that, with those changes that have come, um, describing, or I guess I'd say this: how do you define or describe your music at this point? Like, say, for anyone who hasn't yet heard Fleece, or any of your older joints, how would you define or describe yourself as an artist or your music?
Hmm, that's a good book. Probably, I would say it's it's like uh, it's emotional music for people who like lyrics, basically. So like it's uh but like
Wait, for
not
people who like
emo,
lyrics.
like a lot, like some people, yeah, like it's not emo, you know what I mean? Like it's it's rooted in certain things, like it's rooted in Nas, it's rooted in Wu, but it's also honest and like thoughtful. So like if you like Nas and you like Yasin Bey and you like Kendrick Lamar and Cole and like things of that nature, you'll like my music. Doesn't sound like them, but it's the same has the same kind of humanity to it.
Word.
And it's made for you to play it on your speakers. Like it's good headphone music, or it's good car music. Put it in the whip and turn it up to the red. I'm not putting all these 808s in this music for nothing. Like you got to
He
turn
said I ain't putting it in there for nothing.
that thing up, man.
Oh man, it's like I ain't put. Hey, look,
I'm making
like,
it for truck volume, man.
oh snap,
I
not
guess
the truck volume.
That's the Dilla influence. That's the Dilla influence, I guess. Like
Yo man,
it's also
you
like
had
I
to get
need
that truck
it's that
volume.
truck volume. You got to turn it up, bro.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Um, when when it comes to, I guess everyone who's been on the show, I've tried to ask them this and see kind of where their head was at, because as creators, we're always make something, release it, make something else, release it. And during that time, you create a history, you create a timeline, you create a legacy. Do you think about legacy? And if you do, what do you want your legacy to be as a musician, as Anwar HighSign?
I think about legacy all the time, all the time, and I want my legacy to be, well, like like a lot of us, I started out and I wanted to be in the conversation as one of the greatest and one of the best in the field, and like I haven't reached those heights, and that's something that all of us artists have to reconcile with. Like what is my journey meant? And so I think now
Okay.
my I think now my feelings are, like whatever's left out there for me to achieve, my door is open for it. I welcome it. It may be heights that I never imagined. It may not get any higher than this, but at the end of the day, I want to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of my catalog. So I think at this point, the thing about legacy that I'm focused most on is, expanding my listenership and creating a community, like a high science society, so to speak, and just having records. Like so far, I only have one full length solo record. So as I roll out these next couple that I've been working on and the collaborative projects I've been working on, different EPs, instrumental, whatever the projects are, and there are a lot of them, I just want them to be of a certain quality standard so that when you line it all up, you can go, okay, like this guy just got better and better, and it didn't matter how long he was around. It didn't matter, what was happening in music at the time. He individually kept going higher and kept getting better. And, I just want people to look back at that catalog and feel like there's some classics in there and some life-changing records or life soundtrack records, and for me to be able to look in the mirror and be like, man, okay, well, there's some bumps in the road, but when it was all said and done, like, man, I got my Cuban links, I got my liquid sword, I got, my Illmatic, I got this, like, I have my, like, crazy visions out there and, out there for consumption.
All right, word up. Well, thank you for rolling through, spending some time with us, outside of BBL. You know what I'm saying? I know normally we don't get to get, in the deep mind of HighSign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
See, it's a new rhyme.
The deep mind of HighSign. It is.
You don't even got to pay for that.
You know what I mean? I was stall me out because I'm the homie, so I appreciate you.
But with that said, tell the wonderful people where they can find you, find your music, buy it, stream it, all that stuff.
Yeah. So Anwar HighSign, ANWARHIGHSIGN, Anwar HighSign, on all the streaming platforms, on Bandcamp as well. Really, anywhere you listen to music, you should be able to find that FLEECE. And Haslo, if you want to go back into the earlier works, up to now, Stash Ella, also on the streaming platforms. Follow me on there, man, and tap in with me and leave some comments and some ratings. Like let's get these algorithms on our side. And as far as social media, I'm on IG at Anwar HighSign, and Twitter is Anwar _HighSign. One of them has an underscore.
Yeah, I think IG has an underscore. It'll be down below, y'all. Y'all be able to see.
Yeah, it'll be down below. So once you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, that wasn't as hard as you made it. Okay, cool. So yeah, tap in with me.
Oh man,
tap in with me about them rhymes y'all need, man. I have all your songwriting needs covered.
Don't sleep on
production needs covered. Tap in with me.
And you know what I'm saying? Let that dollar circulate.
Let the dollar circulate, man. Me and the Four Horsemen might be attempting to do, something more substantial to get that dollar circulating.
Yeah, we do.
We are people who need the services.
There's actually something that I had planned for that we got coming later that I actually got to get back on to the planning board. So yeah, we here. So we'll talk about that later. But guys, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all in places. YouTube is the spot to hit that thumbs up or hit that thumbs down. But if you hit that thumbs down, all right, you see See this face? I'm gonna send Freezer after you. All right? He done been dead and came back. All right?
Exactly.
You don't want
You don't want freeze on your head, man.
Nah, you don't want that. So, podcast, Spotify for music, all that jazz. Thank you for rolling through. And from us to you, we're just saying, peace.